8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There we go. Hi, we try again. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes. Sorry for moving the time to 8:30, but unfortunately my bike chain decided to come off, and when I walked through the door, the kids were still in the bath. Now, I would give you anyone £500,000 if they turned to their lovely daughter and said, "No, I can't put you to bed because I need to go and talk football." It's never going to happen. Mr. Brown Bear, what do you see will always come first. Cracking book, by the way. You need to buy it. Just like Elton Wellsbury's. Brilliant book. Right. 8:30 start. Bottom right-hand corner, donate if you want to. It really does help. 99p to join. We've got monthly draws. We've done the Diet Crow. Dan won it. Couldn't believe it. Dan won the prize. But hey, he pays $4.99 a month. There's loads of silly messages from Andy, as always. Leslie's in the house. Gary's there as well. John's been talking to everyone in the chat as well. Hi, Emily. Great to see you again. Caitlin and Nick as well. Fabulous seeing you at the night. Yeah, I know the sound thing. Hey, Blade. How are you doing, mate? Great to see you. Everyone's here. So let's bring them in. Ooh, you're a bit flashy tonight.
What do you mean? Oh, I know. It's me. Like, it's me dimmer's on the way out, so it's flashing a bit. I cannot stop it. It's doing
my light bulb went.
Never.
Yeah, gutted. That's my big light I have behind the laptop to make this, supposed to look better. But these things happen, don't they?
It just started when I turned it on. You nightmare. So, anyway.
Right, let's find out where John is.
Where's he at?
Where you at, John?
Hey, I'm trying to find quiet places all around Tynemouth.
Bear Grill.
This one's worked okay.
Yeah, we can actually hear you. No music, no Sky Sports in the background. It's a win-win.
No, there is a radio in the kitchen I can hear.
I can't hear it, so don't worry about that. Roger, great to see you. Lee, great to see you. Before we start talking about the game, because obviously that's what we're here for, let's talk about the game on Saturday. Obviously, there's no press conference, so we can't talk about that. That's tomorrow. But there's a few little things I've been reading on Twitter, as always. And, some good stuff and some crap, as always. Lots of people not understanding what PSR really is again, which is quite funny. But this one, this finally, The Rock, the world-renowned firm behind Real Madrid Superbase and Spurs Stadium will design the new NUFC training ground. So, Ian, it sounds like we're going to be getting a full development of the training ground before we even consider a new stadium, which I personally think is a great idea, because the only way you're going to be able to get top talent through the door for them to progress is to have a state-of-the-art training facility like Leicester have got, like Crystal Palace have got, like Man City have got, like Chelsea have got. It has to happen, hasn't it?
Yeah. I totally agree. Obviously, we got briefed last Thursday at the show where it was going to be, which we'll believe it's going to be at the race course.
Which I've been saying for how long?
Yeah, exactly. It's exciting. Obviously, we've got to develop in a way where we've got to compete with the best clubs in the country. Also, that will fall in place with the women as well. Don't forget them. Because
100%.
they play a huge part in this as well. And if you look at Manchester City, they've got their own stadium as well where they play the games, and hopefully going forward, I know Kingston Park's going to be their home. I think it's for the next 2 years, I believe. So eventually they'll have their own little place in our Newcastle United training facilities. But like I say, going forward, Leicester City have got a fantastic training facility. Liverpool, all your top clubs have got them. We need to go in that right direction. I know we've coughed up a hell of a lot of money just to get it to a level where it's comfortable for these players to in an environment where we are nowhere near the top teams. But our owners have coughed up a canny bit of money there to, like I say, to try our very, very best to get them to be as comfortable as possible in an environment where, God, you got to remember that we didn't even have a changing room in that in our training facility where
bins,
they didn't even sit together.
Paddling pools.
They were in two different rooms, So, and I mean, a lot of our injuries was down to our playing surfaces in our training facilities as well, which we've worked on again. So I can't wait for the. This is what I'm saying. Patience for us fans is it's hard. It really is hard, but I think the next couple of years are going to be very exciting for us. I really do.
So I got a question about that. Are the women going to be co-located there too, or are they going to take over the Benton facility?
That's a good question. I mean,
I
both
just
could be
don't
on
know.
the cards potentially, but you would think.
I would imagine.
That's a good idea.
I'd imagine it will go down the same route as every other football club, where the women's got a very good team around the first team. It's all equal agenda and everything like that. Everybody's treated the same. So I don't get why any team would put a women's team further down the road away from the first team, because it's all about them.
Yeah.
Newcastle United is all about being united.
Right.
I think personally, I don't know, but I think personally, the direction we need to go in is everybody needs to be under the same roof. So I think the women should be in this training complex as well as the men.
Yeah, and then if they do, it's interesting what might happen with the Benton facility. I don't know if they own it right now or if they lease it or what.
I think they lease the land, because I have played cricket there as well.
There's quite a lot of housing development around the area though as well.
Around
the training facility and around where I know there's cricket there, and on Blue Flames there's 2 or 3 pitches, but housing developments take control of a lot of things. If there's going to be one thing, I don't think the cricket will be left out either. They won't just demolish that and leave the cricket alone. They'll take care of that as well. I know they will.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That brings up another question. Is this is in my mind because the stadium decision just keeps kind of being pushed down the road. So are they trying to make a splash with, hey, the training facility is just about set? Because originally they were going to have some announcements earlier, even last year.
Now, isn't it?
Yeah, and so they pushed that off to March. I'm wondering if there's really, they have to kind of develop 2 different plans right now. But I don't think either one of them can just, boom, be implemented right away. So
I think the training facilities can be implemented much faster because the land is owned by Jamie Rubin at the race course. So that can obviously be probably done a hell of a lot faster than what the stadium will be done. Yeah. But I think they want the plans in place, don't they? They want the fans on board. They want everyone to be singing from the same hymn sheet. They have been floating the idea for a while in all these surveys that have been put out. What would people pay for tickets, for season tickets? Would we like these super seats you can get in the dugout and all this sort of stuff? There's lots of ideas branding around, and all of it really comes down to potentially moving. So I still wouldn't be surprised if they say, right, we're going to build a new stadium, but it's how they do it. Yeah. That's going to be the problem.
There's a lot of hurdles.
Yeah. John
There's a
Boyd,
lot
thanks
of-
for joining the chat. It's the first time we've seen you in there. Evening, gents, it's Jonathan Shaw, but I changed to job or cause easier to say. Right, okay. So you must have opened another account then. There we go. But yeah, there's a lot of hurdles to go through, John. You're right. There's still, I mean, are we still going to stay where St James's Park is? Are we going to be buying Leeds Park? Are we going to be moving further away? Nobody knows the answers to this yet. And obviously March is on everyone's end of everyone's lips at the moment. And it's kind of, let's wait and see what happens. Someone mentioned through Black and White, I should sponsor the training ground. If they take a tube of Smarties off me, then that'll do.
We try.
Why? Yeah, exactly. Or why doesn't Diet Crow sponsor the training ground? Great company, 20% off using code BAZ20. Link is in the description. Or Hefe's Grill in Wallsend. They must make a fortune because their food is spot on. And we did not leave a single chip, did we, that night on Thursday? That was superb grub. You had the chips, kebab and chicken, didn't you, John?
Oh, that was nice. Yeah, I love the food. So generous. So generous of them.
It was. It absolutely was. So get yourself down to Hefe's in Wallsend. Amazing grub. There we go. Thanks for the chance to do that, Caitlin and Nick. That worked quite well. Just rolled off the tongue for a change. Right, so that's the training ground out the way, new stadium talk out the way. Let's go to something which hit the nail on the head. Alan Shearer. Nottingham Forest have come in and they have challenged the big boys. Over recent seasons, we have seen Newcastle do that and disappear. We have seen Aston Villa do that, and now they're 8th. Would that happen to Forest? Would they be able to go on and spend again? Look at where Bournemouth are, what they are doing. I've always said the way they are at the minute doesn't sit easy with me because it's not designed for anyone to come in and challenge the big boys. You might do it for one season, but after that, you're not able to do it. Forest look like they're going to be signing, who was it? Cunha. £60 million they're putting a bid in. Now, when we spoke to Luke Edwards on the Thursday night, he said that Newcastle are boxing clever when it comes to PSR. Wait until the summer because Bournemouth and Forest will have to sell. And that could mean potentially, us jumping in there and taking advantage by getting a player for under his value because they're desperate to get rid of someone. So Shearer's right, isn't he, Ian? I mean, it's all set up for the top, the big six to stay the big six because they earn the most money.
Yeah. You can see Nottingham Forest have taken a gamble massively because they've never been in this position for ages. It stands out a sore thumb. Had a little cheeky bid for Wizard.
Yeah, that was terrible. They were never getting him for that much.
Great player, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
They're testing waters, but obviously we got briefed the other Thursday night about what Newcastle United's potentially going to do and sit tight and hopefully have a bigger summer. It's so frustrating, right? Because you can see clubs trying to do things, but they're always going to be held back.
Yeah.
And the likes of Man City, right? And they can just go out and sign when they're struggling, as they are. They just go out and sign 4 or 5 players and just boost the squad back up.
To be fair, though, they didn't spend much in the last couple of windows to them, so they probably have quite a bit of money saved up of all the little players they sold and all that sort of stuff. So
it's the same with Chelsea, Baz. They just float around. Well, the reason I'm saying that's just that they act when they need to. Newcastle United and all other clubs need to fight like hell just to try and get anything through the door. They have to work to get it done. I mean, Jesus Christ, we were trading with clubs just to get a PSR deadline date done.
Yeah.
And no, we traded in a direction what was absolutely ridiculous. And everybody got excited because we're going, we're doing something. There's players moving. Who's going to come in? We've got a great goalkeeper.
Yeah, we couldn't make moves when we really needed it last year when so many people were injured. Yeah,
and you remember, John, we still can't make that move, what we really want to do. And everybody's going, where's the Gay money gone? Where's the Alanga money gone? Where's this money gone? The money's still there, but if you're going to spend it now, we're going to be close to the PSR deadline again.
Right.
So it holds us back again in the summer. So what Newcastle is trying to do is offload the. It's horrible to say, but it's offload the dead wood to make us so comfortable with the revenue that's coming in. The Adidas sponsorship deal, the Champions League money is going to come in again. Other revenues that's going to come in, it's going to all fall into place for the summer. This deadline, what Darren Eales, what people thought that was, oh yeah, we've got to June, everything, yeah, we can just go and sign anybody we want, was ridiculous. It was a massive PSR stunt, in my opinion, and it got the fans on the side and realised what we're going to do. It's totally false. Now, when
we sell people in a window like now, that leaves us vulnerable for the rest of the season. You know,
yes,
it leaves us short. If we do sell some people, it's going to leave us a little short. As far as the financial, it's good. But when Eddie turns to the bench, it's like, this is not what I need, you know?
Well, it is, John. Now we're turning to the bench. Now, we've said this on shows before that there's no trust in the bench, so he's going like for like.
Yeah.
However, at what point, and it's horrible to see it, is at what point does this club actually go, we have to sell something to make this club transform? Right? And
isn't this the bit about staying patient, though? Because we can transform without selling players, but it's going to take longer.
Yeah.
But this is exactly what John's saying. This is what I'm saying. You're taking a risk down that line where you're returning. There's only so many games you can get through with the players because you're going to go down the same route where you're playing the same players, the same formation, the same, and then you're going to burn them out.
Yeah.
You've got nothing on the bench.
Yeah, but the whole idea of what we're doing as well is that we're buying 15, 16, 17-year-olds. So if you give it a couple of years, some of them are hopefully going to be good enough to come into the first team. If they're not, we sell them. And then that pushes the PSR boundary a little bit. Yes, it's a risk, but it's a long-term investment for a long-term game, isn't it?
I get that, but in current football climate, I don't think you've got that time. I really don't, because you see other clubs just going and transforming so quickly, and we're getting left behind, and it's unfortunate. So I'm saying, at what point in Newcastle United actually go where you have to do something which is took out of our hands? It's not what we want to do, but we need to do that for this football club.
I'm not saying I want them to do it. I'm kind of
nobody wants that.
Yeah, I'd rather let's see if we can get through this year, But it does leave us vulnerable, and it it's like if we don't sell a couple people, you're short on the bench. Also, you're
depends who we sell though, John, doesn't it?
Because one injury away from really ruining things,
But if you this is what frustrates me. What people don't get. Look at the people we are trying to sell.
Yeah.
Right. What kind of money we are getting in for them is absolute peanuts. Where other,
but it's also the wages off the bill, though, isn't it?
I get that.
Like that as well,
I totally get that. And that's Mike Ashley's fault. Right. I totally get that. But you don't get a PSR value for a player that benefits you in the transfer market by selling Miggy for £10 million.
No, I agree.
You don't get that. So who are you? What are we going to benefit from Newcastle United Football Club by selling Miggy Almiron?
Well, we're not.
What are we going to go forward now and go, we're going to go out and get Mbeumo because it's impossible? Horrible for this to sound. If we sold Bruno for 80 million, right? You've already got Tonali, you've already got midfielders in place, Willock everywhere else. Everybody's been crying out for a right winger for the last 2 seasons, by the way. You go, right, 50 million in Mbeumo. Here comes Newcastle United. Everybody goes, get in, great signing. The players that we're trying to get rid of at this football club, it's so difficult because the value is so low.
Yeah.
And that's the frustrating thing for Newcastle United fans. They've got to realise that at this present time, transfer windows are going to be dull unless something explodes. Unless we get to an important part of PSR where we are so comfortable, which I cannot believe for a lot of years, by the way, Baz, where player value becomes like Manchester City, where a fringe player becomes 25, 30 million pound, or a youth player becomes 25, 30 million pound. You move them on. Look at Cole Palmer. Look at I always say Raheem Sterling, 50 million pounds. 50 million pounds to a bloke that's coming out. He's out of his career, goes to Arsenal, goes to other clubs at 50 million pounds. We're getting Miguel Almiron away for 10 million.
Yeah,
we are loaning players out. Turner Cook out. The Irish kid out on loan.
Yeah.
Right? You know,
Murphy out on loan.
Murphy out on loan. Like these are like Isaac Hayden out on loan with a lot. You know, we're not. This is what people's got to realise: is we're nowhere on the as much as we are want to be this elite club where we want to be competing at the top. This is what it goes down to, mine, Barry. It goes down to your manager. And it goes to do how much what he's doing to our team to get us up there. Because what you're trying to offload is only £10 million players.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping
when you were at the top, Pep Guardiola has got all these players around him and he offloads a player. He's going for 35, 40, 50 million pounds. We're offloading kids for 2 million on loans. 10 million pounds. This is the direction what we're in. Sit patient, Newcastle United fans. We will get there eventually, but like I say, one day we will have to sign a big player, and I'll stick by it because that's Man City's done it, Liverpool's done it, Aston Villa's done it. We will have to do it.
Yeah, potentially.
And it's not our fault.
Well,
it's the
no, it's not. It's just the way it is. The other thing that I want to bring up is this. So we are now 15th in this table, which is incredible. And it shows you how far we've still got to go before we even get anywhere near the top 10.
Yeah.
Because the big one, if you look at it, it's the stadium. Look at what Spurs make. You know, for a match day revenue, 123 million. They also make, on commercial side of things, 297 million. We make 67.7 million and 89.7. So that shows you the difference in having a better facility stadium.
Yeah.
That's a massive amount of money. I mean, you're talking almost 50, I'm just going to round it down, 50 and then to 200. That's 250 million, give a few million extra a season just from having a better stadium.
Well, I'm pretty proud. I'm very proud of the team for what they've done, because if you look at the financial numbers, we're getting a whole lot more out of this than Tottenham.
Oh yeah, of course we
Man
are.
City, you know, all these teams. I mean, they're not lighting up the table this year, and we're right there with them, you know.
No, I absolutely agree. But if you look at broadcasting, people are talking about the broadcasting deals are going to go up. There's going to be more money around it. So Man City, obviously at the top, they earn 343 million from broadcasting. Man United 258, Arsenal 305, Tottenham only 194. We're on 214 at the moment. So this extra broadcasting money isn't going to make a massive dent in this table because we're already earning more than Spurs on broadcasting money as it is, and they're meant to be one of the big six. So well, yes, we might be able to get an extra 50 million a year maybe on top of what we're earning now, but it's not going to make a big difference. The big difference is getting the commercial and match day side things. So, but this is an interesting table because you can see how many Premier League teams are ahead of us. There's Chelsea, Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, Man City.
The big six.
The big six.
Yeah, well, I would expect I would expect our commercial revenue to increase. You know, that's pretty low right now.
Yeah, but how is it going to increase though? This is the thing. Is the stack going to be the one that brings us up a little bit? But I mean,
Well,
that's not going to.
I didn't know. I didn't know if we were able to take credit for some of the Adidas deal and some of the other things that we've had. I don't know if that's hit the books yet. Maybe it hits like next year. I don't know.
Possibly that might not be in this table. Be interesting to see this table again next year and to see whether we pass any of the big six. My feeling is we won't.
Yeah.
The big six will still be well ahead of us
Yeah.
unless something magical happens in the Champions League. We're able to get all these training ground sponsors,
Right.
all this sort of stuff. And I don't for a second think the club are not trying to get that. I think the Premier League are knocking it back and we're not hearing about it. But they aren't going to put in a deal in place that they feel is undervalued. So that they're waiting out, and then we'll see what happens with the Man City charges and things like that, and see what comes of that. So far the stat goes. I went there a few months ago and got well pissed. We should be able to afford another Tonali. I mean, the stack is good. Don't get me wrong. I still think it could be better and bigger. But I want to see this table next season when the Adidas stuff kicks in and hopefully Champions League football kicks in again. Right. Let's just talk about a potential transfer I would love to see. It's not Bowen. Before anyone tries to jump on that one. Changed my mind. I want this lad. I want Semenyo. I watched him quite closely against us. He didn't have his best game against us either. I thought there was other players better than him. But for Bournemouth this season, he has been unbelievable. And he's right or left-footed, so he can play on either side. He would be a sensational signing for us. And this goes back to if Bournemouth are in trouble with PSR and they need to sell a big player, could they cope with losing Semenyo? Potentially, because they've got Evan Nielsen up front. They've got all those other great players or very good players and a workman-like team behind them. He could be the one that pushes for a bigger move, especially if Newcastle get into Champions League football and we go knocking at Bournemouth's door with Eddie Howe's links to them and saying, I'm sorry, but we want Semenyo. Here's 50, 60, 70 million. I think he's the buy if we can't get him. Bueno.
You know, Baz, it's interesting to think about is what is the pressure on them? Are they going to want to sell to someone like Newcastle, who's really competing with them in the table, or would they sell to one of the big teams? Just say, hey, let's get the payday.
Well, let's think about it this way, John. Bournemouth are outdoing themselves this season. They wouldn't normally be competing with Newcastle at all. The league table says that as well. I think them selling to Newcastle is a bigger team. It's a bigger step forward because we've got the blueprint that we want to be a top 4 team, and we can be that, especially with Man United struggling, Spurs struggling.
Yeah.
I would say we're no offense to Bournemouth, but the size of their stadium, it's really going to hold them back with PSR.
Well,
we are the bigger fish. That's
a reason for the player to want to come here. But what does the team want in terms of, what's the management structure want? Where do they want to sell a guy that they think could hurt them?
It's just like us, John. We don't want to sell a Bruno. We don't want to sell an Isak. We don't want to sell a Gordon. But if you're forced to do it because of PSR, you've got no choice. And it all depends who's willing to put that money up. You could be forced to sell to whoever offers the big bucks. Yeah. And that's what Luke Edwards said on the Thursday. He said Bournemouth are potentially, breaking PSR in the summer, same as Nottingham Forest. They might have to sell a big player again. They're not going to get any helping hand from us this time around. So
we'll take our 2 lads back.
Well, no, let's just take one of them back. Let's take Anderson back. We'll leave Chris Wood there because Chris Wood does well in that team because they play to his strengths.
Absolutely.
We've covered that enough, haven't we? But I think Semenyo or Mbeumo should be our top targets. And to be honest with you, we could do with both of them. I think getting both of them would be a cracking double swoop, especially considering they can play on both sides.
Oh, yeah.
You've got all that cover. You could sell Harvey Barnes because I'm not a massive fan of that signing. And that gets you some money back as well, doesn't it? So, but yeah, keep an eye on that one because according to Luke Edwards, PSR is a problem for those two clubs. And Man United are in deep crap, aren't they? I know it's not the Man United show, but I've been reading recently in the group and on Twitter, they've lost 300 million over 3 years.
Well, it will still be all right to sign however they want.
But then this begs the difference. How are they not getting punished by PSR and other clubs are? This could be a big thing that changes the PSR boundaries because Man United are one of the big six. They kind of run the league with the cartel.
So how come they got 40 million through COVID and we got 2?
Exactly. Well, we could have apparently, but we didn't put the numbers in.
I don't believe that. No.
Well,
why are they the only club in the country got 40 million?
Because they're the only one stupid enough to ask for it and got it.
No.
Potentially, we don't know, but there you go. I mean,
stinks the high heavens.
It does. Right. A little pop quiz for you guys before we jump on to the next topic. How many pubs are in a mile radius of St. James's Park?
178.
Close. Yeah.
178.
What are you, 178? I think it's 183.
183, 178. Anyone in the chat? Come on, chat. Get your guesses in for 30 seconds. How many pubs are within a mile radius of St. James's Park?
183.
183. Anyone going to have a guess? Come on, guys. Ooh, 190 says Roger Cook. Anybody else want to have a guess?
173?
171 says. Oh. No, that's not the answer.
What's the answer?
No, 179 says Caitlin and Nick. Leslie says 195. John Boy says 996. Evening, Michael. They're all flying in now. 167, 150 says Emily. Andy says 131. The answer is 174.
Ooh.
So there were some close ones. 179 looks like I think was the closest.
What did you say, John?
178.
Yeah, you're closest, John.
How many drinks have you had in them 178? 178.
Probably over 40.
Isn't that crazy? Look at all the rest of them. And this is why St. James's Park being in the heart of the city is such an important thing because
it's so important. It's so important for those small businesses.
Yeah.
It's not just that we have a lot of selection. It's the businesses that really are going to want to keep that stadium close.
I know I spoke to a Bromley fan, right? Anyway, he goes, I can't believe that I've seen a stadium so close to the city.
So true.
It's great.
Wolves are doing all right. They got 50. They'll be drowning the sorrows most of the time in there, to be fair. But there we go.
I'd like to see Wiggins.
Yes, probably one. It just proves that as Jordy's a terrible business. We are.
Terrible.
Right, let's get on to some football chat then. So, Joe Linton apparently is the dirtiest player in the Premier League.
Never in the world.
In 2025, do you know what it is? I love this because it just shows you what a beast he is. I mean, he got called Fornos after the Bromley lads went up against him, and they just said he was just so difficult to play against, so strong. Yeah. But he also has that shit house about him, doesn't he? And I know sometimes some of his fouls borderline, and you think, Jesus Christ, how's he got away with that? But you need that in your team, don't you?
Oh, yeah. And a lot of other teams don't have it to the level that he plays. You know, he plays like a beast. He just keeps running around, just wrecking things for the other team.
I came in like a wrecking ball. Sorry.
Yeah, I love to watch him.
Yeah, he's absolutely brilliant. I love it a bit. A few match facts forward before we go into lineups there. Southampton have won just one of their last 13 Premier League games against Newcastle, drawn 3, lost 9. Losing each of the last 4 in a row. Good omens, hopefully. Having won just one of their first 18 Premier League away games against Southampton, drawn 5, lost 12. Newcastle have now won 3 of the last 4 visits to St Mary's. Now, let's face it, Ian, we used to hate going down to Southampton, didn't we? But that was when it was the Dell, and it was such a tight, horrible ground to go to, wasn't it?
Letitia used to absolutely destroy us down there. It didn't matter if we were brilliant or whatever, we used to get beat.
Yeah.
We used to hate travelling down there, but we used to be the worst travellers in Europe going down to London or anywhere around that south coast. Anywhere we used to always used to be with nothing. Bruno's little back heel.
Yes, what
at the top corner.
Little back heel. It was a karate kick.
Jacob Murphy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a
Carabao Cup semi-final.
It's been a ground where we've been successful of late. I'm hoping that we'll keep it that way. But I watched the performance against Manchester. I know Manchester United aren't playing very well, but it was a very encouraging performance against Manchester United, which you've still got. As much as they're down the bottom end, you've still got to be wary of them. They can still turn up on the day and be very, very good. We can't just go down there and expect to be. We're going to go down there and turn them over because we've still got to travel. We've got that horrible storm coming over tomorrow, which the boys are going to fly down tomorrow. Which I hope they flew down today instead of tomorrow. Because the last time we travelled down there, I believe it was a storm as well, which will actually revert to a bus. So that kind of dismantle our little travels and stuff. So as long as we get the job done, I don't think it's going to be as easy as what we'll think it's going to be.
It's going to be easy. I'm one of those ones when it's an away game, I don't care who we're playing, it's never going to be easy.
Of course, but on paper, on paper, people look at it and go, yeah, we're just going to do this because Newcastle United. No, we're away from home. It's a long
paper.
There you go.
That's Southampton's results. 1-1, drawn 3 all season.
Can you remember? Can you Derby County at our place with Robbie Savage?
Yes. Well, they got 6 points off us, didn't they, that year? Or was it 4?
So they came to our place with reds, and then bang in goal. So we don't.
Finish 2-2. Did they finish 2-2 or lose 1-0? Can't remember.
They got the point. They got the points against us all season. That was it.
Mental. I sort of remember it. But good news though, Newcastle have lost just one of their last 23 Premier League games against promoted sides, winning 14, drawn 8. It's the draws that really hurt us though, isn't it? Especially at home. Going down 1-0 at Luton. That's what I remember. Luton were brilliant that day.
Yeah.
Since that defeat at Kenilworth Road, the Magpies have scored at least 4 goals in 5 of their 6 games against promoted clubs, winning the last 5 in a row. So stats are definitely on our side. Anyway, Newcastle won each of their last 3 Premier League away games, last winning 4 in a row on the road in September, October 1996. So that would have obviously Keegan era, Shearer, Ferdinand, all them lot. Southampton players have made 17 errors leading to a goal in the Premier League this season. Only Tottenham Hotspur 21 in 2013-14 have made more single errors in a campaign in 2007-2008. So that says to me that's going to lead into our high press, isn't it? So if Southampton are making errors, we know this, we pressurize them. You know, could our goals come from mistakes to start out with?
I sure hope so, and I hope it starts early. I'm looking for Eddie to get the guys fired up and say, hey, we can't have another Brentford, okay? This is an away game. You just lost a game at home. How did that feel? You know, let's get out there and take care of business. These guys are at the bottom of the table. You got to get a win here. And if it doesn't work out that way at halftime, I hope he really kicks them and let's get going. We're a top club. And we shouldn't have to, fuss with them. So that's what I'm hoping. And I give you my prediction later.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I agree with John there, totally. It's I know you're away from home. You've got to take that. You've got to, because at the bottom of the table, because they're at home, if you automatically step back, it just gains them confidence to get on the ball, and it'll be really difficult for us. But if we take the game to them and press them high, and if we start the way Newcastle United love to start, because we're renowned for being fast starters, and if we get a chance and we score, I can't see them coming back from that. However,
another Sheffield United.
However, if we fall into our little shell, which we can do, it'll be more difficult what we think. I totally agree with you, John. It all depends on how we start this football match. 1,000,000%.
Yeah, let's face it, Bournemouth started a hell of a lot better than us, and that's one of the reasons why we lost that game.
Right.
So this is an interesting fact. Southampton have lost each of their last 5 Premier League home games, failing to score in any of the last 3. In their league history, they've never lost 6 in a row at home, nor have they lost 4 in a row without scoring. So if history's going to repeat itself, you know what I'm like with my laws of probability, lightning strikes twice and all that sort of stuff, you just can't put it out there, can you?
See, the thing is, was it called Brendan Diaz? He's got United.
He has.
He never won a game starting for them.
He didn't. No, we could have done with him back in the team. I know. I bet Shaw does as well. Bruno Guimaraes has won 76 fouls in the Premier League this season, the most of any player. He has a rate of 3.6 fouls won per 90. Is the most by a Newcastle player in a single campaign since Jonas Gutierrez. He was brilliant at winning free kicks, wasn't he, Jonas? It was one of the reasons why he was in the team. Get him to win a free kick and then get Ryan Taylor on it, and then all hell used to break loose. We backed off Bournemouth so much it was terrible to watch. We looked less like NUFC. It was crackers. We just we panicked.
I don't get what backed off Bournemouth. I just don't get what that. As part of me, French, we did not know what the fuck that hit us that day.
Yeah. Alexander Isak scored in each of his last 4 Premier League away games, with no Newcastle player ever doing so. 5 in a row. Furthermore, he scored 13 goals in the last 12 Premier League appearances against promoted sides, netting a hat-trick against Ipswich. What a great hat-trick that was as well. It was finally nice to see another Newcastle player score a hat-trick. Brentford kick ass against us, not reading into stats for our game, but if we have the right mentality, then hopefully we can put into the sword. I just like stats, mate. I really do. I think it can help you paint a picture. Hey, Baz. All right, everyone. Hey, Davey. Hope you're well, mate. Simon Barrett will be the referee. I don't really know too much about him. 17 games, 81 yellows, no red cards.
Oh, that's good for Joe Linton.
Oh, is it? If he wants to give his first one, he knows who to give it against, doesn't he? Right, we'll start with the teams, unfortunately, SofaScore haven't done them yet. They do them tomorrow, so I've had to look at Southampton's previous game, which also
2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen their team right now. Can't wait till you start pronouncing these, lad.
Oh, I'm not going to be pronouncing all their names. It's just
come on.
No.
Honestly, I've wrote them down, right, and I was like,
go on.
Baz is going to have a right tongue twister on tonight doing this.
Brilliant. Well, we'll start with injuries and suspensions. R. Stewart, Jay Stevens, T. Dibbling, which I think is fantastic that he's not playing. And I know that's a horrible thing to say, but he's a quality player. And Lloris. For us, Harvey Barnes, Callum Wilson, and Jamal Lascelles. You mentioned something about Wilson, though. He could be on the bench.
Yeah. Baz was something put in our group that he's potentially fit for Southampton or the Fulham game.
All right.
And he's back in training and he could be fit for the weekend.
Who's that?
Wilson.
Callum Wilson.
Oh, really?
You must have missed that one, Baz.
I did. I've been at work all day. It's been a busy day.
Yeah. He's back in training.
Mm-hmm.
And he's potentially could be fit for Saturday or in contention for the bench for Saturday. Definitely Fulham.
Right. Very interesting. Right. Here's Southampton's last team. Fernandez seems to be the standout player in that game, getting an assist. Obviously, Adam Armstrong, the old Geordie boy up front. I always thought he was never good enough for the Premier League, but he's found his level, hasn't he? Cameron Archer, was that the one that leads? Cameron Archer.
Not sure.
Walker Peters. I've always liked Walker Peters. I think he's quite a good player.
Playing a different role now, wasn't he? Because he was he's always a fullback. So he had great pace. I know when he played in the semi-final, he came on the bench, off the bench, and I thought he was very, very effective, and I thought he was doing all right. I think he's a good player, decent player. England international, so
Yeah. Here comes the dodgy names. Erbu. Downs.
That's an easy one.
Sugawara.
Sugawara.
Howard Bellis.
Who?
Benderek.
Benderek's a centre midfielder. Yeah, centre defender, sorry.
Yeah, centre back there. It's on the screen. Bree, he's playing as well. And Ramsdale. And Ramsdale had a howler, didn't he?
5.8. Woo.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if this is going to be the team. This is who played last time out in that defeat that they had. But, I mean, you look at those scores, don't you? There was only one of them who got an 8 because he got an assist, and that's Fernandez. But the rest of them didn't light the game up. Even though you said, Ian, they actually, I mean, was it just down to the poor defending in the last game when Southampton pulled 2 back?
Well,
I know they give Man United a bit of a run for the money.
Yeah, and they look. And I know Man United's not in a great place at the minute, but it's one of these ones where the teams are fighting for their lives that can go out and give it their all. And sometimes it's the player best away from home, to be honest, because the home fans are not the best. And I think sometimes Newcastle United play better away from home because our home fans are not the best at times. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is if Newcastle United turn up and the fans be getting behind them, I just think surely we'd be too much for them, but it's that horrible word. Hopefully we'll get it done. I think on paper bars, I think we've got too much for them. I
do as well. I mean, Forest were 3-0 up in the game, and obviously Southampton made it look like a decent game.
It was 3-2, wasn't it? The final score, but when you're 3 up, I think you're kind of going to cruise control. And then when they get one back, get a
little nervy, don't you?
Yeah, but you're still like. And then when it goes to 3-2, you just kind of get the game over the line. I think that's a pattern of the play and what always happens in football. I really do. But they're there for a reason down the bottom of the table, and we've got to capitalise on that. Yeah. But still, we can't get ahead of ourselves and still go down there and just think we're going to steamroll them, because we won't. We just need to get the job done. Agree with John. I'll repeat myself. We need to start the game sharp. Get at them. Get that early goal, because if we get that early goal, I think it'll knock their ends in.
Yeah.
And then it's up to us to take control of that football match.
Yeah. So Man United 1-0 up apparently to an own goal against Rangers.
Had one as well. Yeah, Dillit. It was one of the softest free kicks you'll see in an opponent's box you'll ever see in your life.
Oh, really? That bad?
Yeah. It was before the show came on. The corner came in. The lad put his hand on the shoulder and he went down, and Dillit put a header in. And it was ridiculous. Rio Ferdinand was doing his dinger in.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
No, but the thing is, it was like a mouse fart.
I know, you know what Rio Ferdinand's like.
It was terrible. It was terrible. It should have stood.
I love it. It's like all those mice running around in St James's Park. I was on Old Trafford.
Yeah.
St James's Park on my brain.
That's why I said the mouse's fart.
Yes, I know. Right, there's only real one talking point for our team, and that is who plays at centre back alongside Byrne. I don't think Byrne will be dropped. I know he didn't have a great game against Bournemouth, but nor did Botman. And Shaw didn't exactly pull up trees when he came on in the second half either. So what? I mean, potentially out of the 3 of them, what do you think the pairing's going to be in? I don't think anything else changes personally. I don't know if you want to talk about that as well, but I don't think anything else changes other than there's going to be a potential different pairing at the back.
I think we need a little bit more from the right full back. I really do. That's why I put Trips in.
It was interesting, wasn't it, against Bournemouth, because he took Hall off and moved Tino to the left.
Yeah,
and then Trips
was. Yeah, I think we need more creativity coming from fullbacks. I really do. I think we're lacking that department. I think we're lacking in from set players, and I think we're lacking in when the build-up play where not just coming through that centre midfield. We're so predictable at times to play where it's just coming through the midfield because Livramento, I'll repeat myself, his defensive side's very good because he recovers. I mean, if you watch the goals that we conceded, Livramento switched off, Murphy switched off down that side, and I believe if Trippier was playing a full-back, he wouldn't have allowed Murphy to switch off because he'd have been balling in his ear. Tino Livramento's got, like I say, he's got a lot to learn, wouldn't have shouted at Murphy. These little things what I pick up on, which I think we can so much improve on, but that comes with experience. So I think Trips should come back in on that right-hand side. And I would put Shaw back in alongside there, and I would drop Burn. I would put Botman in, and I would put Lewis Hall at left back. As much as Botman's been absolutely fantastic, right? I think this where we need to kick on as this football club. I think we need footballers across that back line, and at times Dan Burn. His defensive side, when he's blocking things and when he's defending things, is absolutely world class. I think he's brilliant. He's had a fantastic season, right? But when the ball's at his feet, he's very predictable. He goes sideways, never steps into play where Botman will step in. Shaw step in and get us up the pitch as fullback. Because Trippier likes to play very, very high. It automatically brings your back line up so high. Lewis Hall had one of the worst games I've seen him for a long, long time, but you can't drop him after one game. I think fundamentally, Lewis Hall's been probably one of our best players and most improved players on the left-hand side. But why I would leave him in the team is because he can create going down that side. He can put balls in the box. He overlaps, and he's got a lovely left foot. Can do that. Tino Livramento can't. He can't. I've never seen him beat a first man on a cross yet. What he does very, very well, he recovers very well when it breaks down. And when there's times where the commentator said, let's get the afterburners on, and he'll recover. But that's still not enough for me. Collectively, as a team, Shaw plays them great crossfield balls. But like I say, Botman is very composed. Botman, I felt sorry for at times because he's been on his wrong side. But put him back on his left-hand side where he's more comfortable. I think you will certainly get the best out of him. You've got to remember here, we've got to take Newcastle. Forget Dan Burn, what he's done to this season. He's been brilliant. Botman's back now. He's so much better than Dan Burn. Shaw's back now. He's so much better than anybody can come in at this present time on that right-hand side of that centre half. So you've got your balance right the way throughout that. So that back four for me. And I think I really do. You need leadership in there. You need quality. You need chances forward, and you need, like I say, you need something from that right hand side where we're very, very lacking. Because the ball going to Murphy, and Murphy will either hit the first man or play a great ball in. It's not enough. So you need something from deeper. You know, you've got another. For me, you've got Tino with his quality going forward, which is very, very poor. And you've got Murphy at times that's very, very 50-50. So you need something, in my opinion, that you need quality from somewhere down that right-hand side. So that back four for me needs to change. It really does.
I mean, I fully agree about Dan Burn. Dan Burn's been brilliant as a defender when he's been called upon to do defensive work. But every time the ball's played sideways to him and he does that daft turn to play it out to Lewis Hall, it's so telegraphed. It's so slow. And it just makes me laugh. And I feel so sorry for him because he's not a ball-playing defender and he never will be.
You know, the thing is, though, Baz, right? When he's turning out like that, a lot of the time he's in space. So Botman won't turn the Hall. Botman will step up with the ball 10, 15 yards, which will automatically bring Shaw up 10, 15 yards. And Trippier plays, if you watch Trippier, he plays so high. It's ridiculous because he always wants to get involved on that side. Yeah. So it automatically drags your team up higher just because you're centre halves. It'll push your midfielders higher and have a guess what? Isak doesn't become the deeper forward anymore. It pushes him up to the areas where he wants to play at. And it's always starts from your defenders, and that's where it starts from. And like I say, I'll repeat myself, Dan Burn's defensive side is great. you know, if we're winning, if you want to hang on to someone for 10, 15 minutes, bring them on. He'll defend, head things, kick things, put it 20 yards. That's what you want. But from getting a foothold in the game, when you've got Botman, Shaw, Trippier, Hall in that back line with all quality on the ball, you need to start them, in my opinion. Now we need to move forward.
Yeah, absolutely agree. John, who would you go for as your centre back pairing?
Center back. Well, Ian made a really good argument for, having Botman and Cher in there at the same time. And you know what that does is I think Byrne has been very durable for us this year. And so if he's coming off the bench, like if anybody gets tired, you could still use him. But I don't know. I mean, I think Byrne and Botman probably. But yeah, I think Byrne and Botman. But I like Ian's argument because, there's a lot that we could do to make things move forward. And part of that is trips,
Yeah, I mean, Trips makes a massive difference with his leadership. But again, the pace side of things. Because, I mean, Tino's trying to play that role that Trippier played by dropping into midfield and trying to go forward, but he hasn't got the extra quality, has he, on the ball? So Trips is a miss, but also we miss Tino's pace when Trips in sometimes because you just think, oh God, we've been caught out again. And Tino, like I said, can't get back. So yeah, it's going to be interesting who he goes with.
Yeah.
I honestly still think it'll be Byrne and Shaw, and I think Botman might get a rest.
Well, he could use a rest. I mean, I was surprised that he got like 2 full games as soon as he was fit. It's like, boom, get in there. And it was like, I'm worried about the guy getting hurt again. This looks like last year when we popped guys in there for too long.
Yeah.
See, the reason why I spoke about the back four is I think because the rest of the team just picks itself. Because obviously the availability of other players we just simply haven't got, and that's the best what we've got. Now, the reason why I think Tino should come out is simply because Eddie Howe looks after his young players, and when things aren't right, he brings them out and nurtures them in. I know he's got a lot of trust in them. I get that because he plays them, but I just think there's times where he needs to come out and learn. He needs to come out and learn. He's apparently Liveramento was there for Trips as understudy. He needs to come out and learn the other side, which is so important, because there's times where he's very Miggy Almiron like, where he gets in great areas and he lets himself down.
Yeah.
But what he does absolutely amazingly is his recovery when he's bad positional sense as a defender to recover and get himself out of shite is unbelievable, by the way, because of his pace.
Yeah.
If you sit and watch him, and there's commentators have picked it out as well, and there's other Sky pundits have picked it out. He's fell asleep there. He's ball watching, but he's got away with it because of his pace. If he can get the other side right, this kid's going to be absolutely fantastic, by the way. Until then, he's still a working project. Yeah. Massive working project, by the way. Hall, I was his worst critic because obviously I was a left back myself. This kid has come on leaps and bounds, and he's overtook Liveramento by a street, by the way.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, I
agree with that.
He's great. He's fun to watch, and he's
great.
He's really good for his age. Really good.
Yeah,
really confident.
Yes, definitely. I mean, he's even said about he says the best professional in the football club is Dan Byrne, and he looks up to him. So you know, this is why we always say it's very hard to sell players like that, not just because the Geordies, but because they have the work ethic.
That's why Matt Ritchie was so important to this football club.
Yeah,
because what he'd done around the training ground with the players, all the young players, all the new players, he bedded them in, made them feel welcome, and he was just an amazing person to be around the football club.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Right, get your predictions in the chat. We're going to go through ours once we've seen the league table. Then we'll do our predictions as the last part of the night. sitting in 6th now, joint with Man City. Obviously, they've got a better goal difference by 3 goals. It's still so tight, isn't it? I know Nottingham Forest have put a bit of a gap there at 6 points now.
That's crazy, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? I mean, no one ever thought
I
Nottingham
love
Forest
it.
would be third. And I do. I absolutely
That's
hope
great.
they break the mold. I really do. And Bournemouth in 7th, they've reduced it to 1 point now behind us. Villa are still knocking on the door there. Brighton are still knocking on the door. They've never gone away. And Fulham have now made the top 10. But isn't it great not seeing 2 of the clubs that are meant to be the big 6 in the actual top 10?
You know what it is, Baz, as well, mate? That Fulham game at home, everybody thinks it's just a gimme. I mean,
It's
look,
definitely not.
they're in the top 10.
Yeah.
There's no gimmies in the Premier League anymore.
Some great scorelines. They're definitely not.
If you look at that top 10, right? I would say at this present time, apart from Liverpool, because I think they're on a different level, any team out of that top 10 can beat each other.
Oh yeah, no
and
doubt.
That makes the Premier League so exciting because you just don't know which direction this top 10 is going to go.
I love it. I mean, if we get... Sorry, Baz, but I can't see mine at the top on the list. Exactly.
I love that.
I mean, if results go our way, we're back into 4th again. I know it's going to be very interesting. I can't really see City or Chelsea probably dropping points this weekend, but you never know because City have been in Europe. They've just been humiliated against Paris Saint-Germain after going 2-0 up.
Who's City playing, Baz?
You what, sorry?
Who's City playing?
That's a good question. I'll find out for you because I haven't actually looked.
I know you said if you can't see them winning.
Guess who they're playing?
I honestly don't know.
Each other.
Chelsea.
Oh, they're playing Chelsea.
They're
Wow.
playing each other. So one of them's definitely dropping points. So both of them are.
That's got to be a 4:30 Sunday, is it?
It is 5:30 Saturday.
Yeah.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, Emily's on the ball there with Chelsea. So potentially we're going back into 5th if we get a win because one of them are either drawing or losing, and that means we'll go ahead of them unless Chelsea draw. Well, again, then we'll go ahead of City into 5th, don't we? So it's a win-win situation for us at the weekend. Probably the best result would be a draw.
Massive game for weekend now.
Yeah. And we kick off at 3:00. So it's in our hands, basically. We will be 4th if we win. And then it's over to Chelsea and Man City to battle it out to see who wants to go back ahead of us.
Get in.
That's good, that, isn't it? Who else is Bournemouth Forest as well?
That's a great game as well.
Oh, yeah, 3rd v 7th.
Yeah.
So again, are we going to be catching Forest up, or we're going to put a 4-point gap?
Is Bournemouth at
us
home?
and Bournemouth again?
Home?
Yeah, Bournemouth are at home.
That's going to be really difficult for Forest, by the way.
Yeah, very, very tough game. But Forest have been renowned for winning tough games, haven't they? Let's face it. So it's going to be very, very interesting. So let's get some predictions in. John, what is your prediction?
Okay. My prediction is we win 3-0.
Ooh,
Do I feel like, and I'm the guy who says just exactly what Ian said. It's that any team can beat any other team. But if we don't have incentive to win this game after losing at home quite terribly, really, and we're going down to face the last team in the table, then come on, guys. I think Eddie's going to light a fire, or I think they should realize as a team, you've got to respond from that loss. We won 9 in a row. We're still in a very good place. We need these 3 points. Go down there and take care of business. And if they're not doing that at halftime, I expect Eddie to give them a hard time. I say we win 3-0. Of course, that's with my heart more than my head, but that's just where I'm at. I think they have reason to really grab this one.
I'm just like having a little brief look through the European games, and I think Ekiteke has just missed a penalty. Oh, what a poor guy. What about you, Ian?
I think both teams will score.
Mm-hmm.
and I think we'll just nick a 2-1.
Ooh.
And I don't think it's going to be as comfortable as what we think.
Yeah.
As long as we get over the line, that'll do me.
Yeah, I would take it.
Yeah.
We
I
need
don't
3
think
points.
Ever comfortable, is it?
No. And like I say, it's a one-shot saloon for them because they're fighting for their lives.
Yeah.
Every game's one of them ones where they can turn up and be absolutely 10 out of 10, or they can be a 1 out of 10. I hope they'll turn up to be a 1 out of 10. But as long as we get the job done, so I'll go 2-1.
Yep.
So John thinks we're going to make history for Southampton because they've never not scored in 4 games in a row. You think Southampton are going to stop that rot and get a goal, but we're still going to win. Do you know what it is? And I always say away games are really difficult and all this sort of stuff. And I just think when you're playing against a team who's only won 1 game and drawn 3, you've got to go out there and make a statement. We need to get our goal difference up a bit higher. I think Eddie Howe is going to lay down a marker and say, you owe those fans something after that 4-1 defeat against Bournemouth. And I think we're going to put that right. And I think it's going to be 4-1 or 5-1.
Wow.
I hope you're right. I really do. I
hope
you're right.
Well. It was no penalty. Didn't realise that. Thank you.
I really do. But
I think we'll put a statement out again. I really do.
I sure hope so.
Come on. It's going to happen.
Well, at least we all picked for a win. No draws.
We've all picked for a win. We have, which makes a change.
Losses.
All should pick for a win, shouldn't we? We all should pick for a win because we should be confident going down there because they're sitting rock bottom. But
that's right.
It's never easy in the way. Normally, they're the hardest games to go to. By the way.
Oh, they are. Yeah. I mean, how many times you picked an Acker out and you put the top team to beat the bottom team, and it's the one that's let you down.
Yeah.
But this is going to be different. We are going to. I think we're going to. No disrespect to Southampton. I just think they've literally been a bit of a yo-yo club, haven't they? They haven't spent enough money as always. They haven't bought any quality. They're probably coming up to get the parachute payments, and they're going to do it for the next couple of years until maybe they start bringing that talent that they used to bring through the youth level. That's what they're dependent on, I think, because they're never going to be able to spend big. So I think it's going to be a convincing win. I really do. Before we go, though, guys, don't forget about Diacro, amazing sponsor. We give away a $40 gift card every month. If you want to be in the draw, you must be a member at 99p a month. There are other memberships if you want to pay them. And what that does is it helps us to keep the channel running for free because it costs us to have all this stuff that we do. And then we also give money to charity as well, which I can give you an update, which I normally put across the screen, but I haven't updated it yet. But I will do that after the show for next time. We have now raised, since we started the channel, £8,232.84. Not bad. Good job to use too as well. Can't be done without yous. And don't forget heifers. If you want to get fat, this is where you go. And I'm telling you, the Danny Boy burger was unbelievable.
Terrible way to promote something.
It's greasy food. It's what you want after a night out. It's honestly, the food is unbelievable. And I'm not joking.
That's what you should have said, not just if you want to go there and get fat.
Yeah, I am fat.
You cannot see it.
You can. Because it's that good, you have to keep going back, you see.
Right.
Exactly.
If you enjoy all your scran, get yourself there. But do not go there, just get yourself fat.
It's in Wallsend. It's a mile down the road from Benfield Football Club. They do deliveries as well. Honestly, try the food just once and you'll be hooked. It really is nice. And the guys in there who run it, who looked after us, were absolutely fantastic.
They were very generous. That was good.
They were
that
brilliant.
was so nice.
So nice. It's not often we get something for free, but we didn't really get it for free, but we did. If that makes sense. But yeah, great stuff. Thanks for this tonight, guys. We will be back Monday night if anyone's free. That'll be the review show because I'm on night shift Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Monday is my only free night. So it'll be 8 o'clock Monday night for the review show. Tune in then. And however, lads, we're going to do it. Come on.